Good evening, everyone. Welcome to God's Way, YTVY, the spiritual viewpoint. I'm your host tonight, Thomas Knight's Templar, and sitting in for Aldefina Shepherd is Christine Schiavone. Christine, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Christine Schiavone, and I also do a show here at the studio called Spiritual Exploration. And Tommy's show is on at 9 o'clock on Friday night, and I'm on it right after at 10 o'clock. Let's see now, FiOS Channel 35, Spectrum Channel 79, and we both do similar shows, and I enjoy doing it.
Okay. And first I'll introduce our guest to the right. Okay, tell us about yourself. Tell them who you are.
Mehernaz. I'm a spiritual counselor. I do tarot readings. I do bioenergy healings. And yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And she's a very nice person.
Yes. Okay. And over here we have...
I'm Janice Kennedy. I'm a hypnotist. I'm also a white light healer and a proud mom of 2 children. And I'm looking forward to the show.
Should be a good one.
Okay, both of you are clinical hypnotists, right?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you studied under the same person?
Under Joshua.
Joshua, yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your, who did it first? Let's put it that way.
oh, we did it together.
Yeah, we were in the same class.
Did it together. Okay. All right.
It was intense month and a half. It was on the weekends.
Yeah, I know it's like it's 5 times I think it is, something like that.
Yeah, and it's all day. So you're with the same group of people all day, and usually when they teach you hypnotism, it's very clinical.
Yes,
I mean, we are clinical, but Joshua, the way he does it, he brings the spiritual part of it into it.
He's a very charismatic person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes, he is. He is.
Changes the whole
He changes
outlook.
the dynamic.
Yeah.
I know. I was at one of his seminars, and
It's amazing.
yes.
It's very interactive. You know, we did so many exercises on each other. You know, we got rid of a lot of our fears. It was really nice.
It gets you out of your own way.
It does
'Cause
completely.
if you don't get out of your own way, you're not going to be doing this work.
That's right.
No.
You know. And how would you, like you said you have both of you have your own practice, right?
I don't right now. I do with my family.
Okay.
I
She
take care of
practices with her family.
my family and friends
They also
right
share
now.
recipes. Okay.
Family and friends right
Okay.
now.
All right. So that's good. That's good. And you have a regular practice, or,
I do,
or it's
yes.
word of mouth?
Well, I do work for a couple of centers here in New York, and then...
Well, tell them about that one. All right, she works for a particular one that I know of. It's a very good one. What street
yeah.
is that on? 41st?
Yeah. Well, now they're online mostly, and then at different places because the center shut down. But yeah, and I also work with a lot of clients of mine are from India because that's where I grew up. So you know,
No, I
through
just
word
thought
of
it was
mouth.
Poland. She grew up in India. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have
Very
a lot of
spiritual
clients
place,
there.
India.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
my wife
very.
traveled there a few times. She loved it.
A lot of
Loved
good
it.
people there, yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a very zen area.
It is.
You know. All right. Question I would have for you is like if the average layman comes in to see you, and they have whatever kind of baggage it might be, or they may be sick. How would you go about treating them?
So,
I mean, do you get medical diagnosis first and then go from there?
sometimes I ask for the medical diagnosis. Of course, I start with the feel, like just tune into their energies, and then generally, I look into the layers of the chakra. I love working with the chakras because they're very specific. Like if you look into the mental layer, it'll give you mental information. But I come from the belief that any kind of physical issue that has been diagnosed always stems up from something mental.
Has a mental issue.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So I try to go into the root cause. So yeah, I tap it through the chakras and then generally ask them for confirmation if they have a medical diagnosis. Sometimes it's not diagnosed yet, but it's kind of brewing out there, and that's the best stage to catch it in. And
So you can tell a person's diagnosis before they might even get it from a doctor, huh?
There are times I get it, yeah. I mean, so more than the diagnosis, the issue that's brewing, and then I tell them you need to take care of, you know, this specific chakra or part of the body that's really,
Right.
And then they generally say, oh yeah, I've been having slight issues with this. So I'm like, well, this is more of concern versus that's not so much of concern. So something to that effect.
And you, madam?
And me? I talk to them.
I'm coming to you. My back is messed. It really is. You know, they don't want to do surgery, but I'm coming to you. I'm having a problem with my back. What are you going to tell me? What are you going to do for me?
Well, first I would talk to you, and I would find out.
I'm very interesting, I know. Go ahead.
I would find out, like, maybe when your back started hurting you, what was going on in your personal life even. Because sometimes it's stemming
related.
from,
It's
it definitely can be related now or from a past life. And that talk is very important to find and to diagnose. And then you go in and, like she does with the layers with chakra, but you
do regression.
Yes, you have to regression.
A lot of people don't realize that how good regression can be for them because it lets go of a lot of things that they held on for so long that doesn't serve them and only makes them worse.
Yeah.
You know, and they, you know, like we were talking about before, they make a mantra of these terrible things and they say them repeatedly and just magnify that. And guess what? You own it once you do it. You know?
Well, yeah,
They
it's what you
manifest
put
it.
out to the universe that's going to
Well, the universe doesn't know right or wrong. God's going to give you exactly what you ask for.
Exactly.
And if you're going to be not enlightened enough to go and say something like that, you know, guess what?
Well, sometimes it also, with the healing I had, I was under hypnosis, and I had issues with my mother and my late husband.
Okay.
I had asthma. My mother died of COPD, and my late husband had severe allergies. And I developed all this.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I developed all these after they passed. And it was an issue I had to deal with under hypnosis. I had to forgive them. They had to forgive me. And once that forgiveness under hypnosis happened, I was healed.
So
I never had medication ever again.
a lot of people don't understand that when you are regressed and you have some type of phobia here in this life, and you're regressed and you get back to the point, let's say you're afraid of water, or you feel like you're drowning and you're standing in a puddle, you know what I mean? What they do is that when they regress you to that point, you automatically release.
Yeah.
Okay, then you don't own that anymore when you come back. You know, people should get regressed, especially if you have some kind of thing like that, you know, some type of phobia, fear of the dark, fear of the water, fear of anything, you know, fear of flying, you know. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, no, it's true. It's true.
You fear
have
anything?
We all have fears. I mean,
No.
I'm kind of afraid of heights, but I'll get on an airplane, look out the window. You know.
You're on a plane, you're sitting down in a chair. What's
I
so bad to
know.
do?
Overcome your
Well, the
fear.
thing
You know
is
what I
that-
mean?
Well, people's fear of flying comes from a fear of
Crashing,
crashing. That's right.
you know. What goes up comes down a little harder.
I fear mice.
You
You
fear
fear
mice?
mice?
Well, because they ran over my feet a couple times when I was younger, and it was a bad situation, so I don't
You
like
know
mice.
who to call.
Yes, I know.
All right, you know who to call for that. I can help you with that. You fear of mice too?
No, I have a fear of, I should probably not own it. I used to have a fear of lizards, but
who?
lizards.
Oh, lizards. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the things out there, that was one of the creatures.
Lizards don't
Bless
bother me.
them.
Snakes do it for me.
Okay.
I don't like snakes.
Oh, yeah, snakes I'm kind of fearful of, but lizards
Yeah.
don't bother me.
Maybe
As
that's
a matter
better.
of fact, I was helping care for a friend's lizard and didn't know. I'm caring for it for days and didn't until the cleaning lady says to me, Christine, there's something I should bring to your attention. I said, yeah? She says, the lizard is dead.
She gave it reiki. You said good.
No, I
such
mean,
an
I was
animal lover.
changing its water, and I was wondering why I was just laying in one place, you know.
And you?
What, just the mice.
Just the mice. Okay.
But you're right, I shouldn't give any ownership to that.
No, you know what?
They're little mammals. They really don't hurt you.
I can feed them to my stepdaughter's
Oh, no.
snake.
Oh, no.
She has a snake.
Yes.
You had to mention the snake. I'm not coming there. I get a lady flags me down in the street. I'm in my car. I'm not even in my, you know. I got a snake. I got a snake. It's on the. It was the biggest garter snake I ever seen. It was about that big.
Wow.
Looked like an eel.
That's huge.
You know, so I'm looking like this. I opened up the trunk of my car. I had the window scraper. So
Oh, and you had a.
I go like this. I knew he was going to coil, so I tapped him. He coiled around. I threw him in a garbage bag, tied him up. That was it. You know,
No,
that's
that
it.
wasn't very nice.
But
Sure
you
was.
did
It's a
it.
snake.
But you
What?
did it. Even though.
I didn't want to do it.
But you did
You
it.
know, I didn't want to do it. Snakes? Afraid of them too?
No, for some reason it's just that one.
We all have that one.
Right?
Let me ask you this question. Being born, you're born in India. Okay, where?
Yeah, Bombay.
Bombay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mumbai.
Well,
Well, we
born in the aristocratic part. Anyway, all right, born in Bombay, raised on the principles of the religion, right?
The Hindu
Yeah.
religion?
The religion I was raised under is Zoroastrianism, actually.
Is that Vishnu and all?
My ancestors are from Persia, so they follow Persian
there you go,
religion.
okay.
and It's called Zoroastrianism. It's an ancient.
That's why she's good looking. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I used to go to all the temples, and yeah.
Yeah, temples are beautiful that they have there.
Yeah.
When my wife went there, they dressed her up in a sari and they put the dot on her and stuff like
Oh.
that. And I wanted to say, is that the one that means that you're a virgin? Gotta be funny, Tom. You know, so
Actually, a lot of married women wear the dot.
they do, huh?
Yeah, and the red thing in the hair, that's
With the henna?
the sindoor, they call it. The red thing in the hair resembles that you're married. And the
Okay.
dot resembles the activation of the third eye.
Oh, the
That's why
third
it's
eye,
red,
oh,
yeah.
the third eye, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The bit.
So what you do now is actually fits in with your heritage, when you think about it.
Yeah.
What about you? How far to the left of you? Born and raised, what, Roman Catholic?
No, I was born and raised Protestant.
Same shit. Oh,
And
same stuff.
And I converted to Roman Catholic to bring my children up
Okay.
Roman Catholic.
All right.
But I had a little issue this year. My daughter made her communion, and I'm teaching her to be spiritual. And the Roman Catholic Church is fine, but there's some things that you shouldn't be fear. There shouldn't be fear. It should be all about love in my
Yeah.
eyes.
That's
Absolutely.
what it's supposed to be. That's
And
what it's
some
supposed to
of the priests, it was more fear. So I told her, don't worry about it. Just know it's love, and that's it.
be. Get through school,
Mm-hmm.
get out. And then
She goes,
Be
I just
spiritual.
listen to you, Ma, don't worry.
I was talking about that the other day. You know, I was having this discussion with a priest. And I basically had him saying uncle. He couldn't take it anymore because he couldn't give me an answer. You know, so that was all right. And sometimes you know, people try to challenge you and try to test your faith to see where you are, what you know, and they do this. Well, if you're such a holy man, why don't you win lotto?
It doesn't work that way.
No.
You know, listen, somebody just won $242 million on this island. God bless her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I never see anybody win on this island.
Yeah.
All right, and she bought it in Stop and Shop. I shop there all the time too. You know, I'm going to go over and ask
Just
her for a
didn't buy
refund.
any lottery tickets
I'm
there.
going to ask her for a refund. I was there last night. $242 million. Wow.
What
That's
do
a
you
lot
do
of
with
money.
all that? Yeah.
Even if you got half of it, what do you do with all that?
That's
Yeah.
true. Hopefully she'll be generous and give a lot to charity and things
help.
like that.
Family, friends,
Yeah.
everything,
Helping
you know,
out,
help
yes.
everybody out.
You know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to the healing aspect of the show, we're getting a little off topic.
Right.
Okay, just a little.
A little bit.
Okay. Do people contact you? How do they contact you? You know, through the ARE Center?
I've seen it's mostly word of mouth.
Word of mouth,
That
okay.
works usually, and also there are repeat clients. Like once you give them
And their friends and family?
friends and family, right? That's mostly
Is it
how.
mainly
'cause,
for healing or they come for reading?
a lot of them come for readings, and then if I pick up something, I generally mention to them that, you know, with some people it's very clear that you don't need a reading, you need a healing. Like, it's just very clear.
See, what
It's
you just said,
different.
what you just said, we had this conversation even with Joshua when we were here. When I see somebody and I see they have a problem. All right, I'm not going to tell them. If during the course of, somebody's talking to me, I visualize, I see it. So if I see there's something wrong with their knee, I'm just going to fix it. I'm not going to say nothing to them. Because the minute I say to them, you should watch that right knee,
Then you just
they're
manifest.
going to enforce that thought, and they're going to have a knee problem.
Right.
So, and that's the pitfall of a lot of
Well, I have a
psychics
question
that do that.
for you girls. How would hypnosis cure something like asthma, diabetes, anything that's kind of a major problem?
Well, I would say you'd have to get to the root of it, where it came from, when it started, were you born with it? Did it come later in life? Because I believe that probably most likely, if you're born with it, it's from a past life.
Past life, yes.
Because I believe our bodies, we don't get anything unless something was brought forward.
There is no sickness and disease in God, therefore there could be none in you. Learn it, say it, know it, believe it.
Yeah.
Don't enforce the negative thought. Your body knows what to do.
Yeah, that's why when we all get upset or we're feeling down, our body reacts. So if you can find out where that disease or whatever started,
Originated from.
you can cure it.
I agree with that. The timeline factor is very important in detecting where it came from. Usually childhood.
Well, how far do you have to bring them back? During this life's childhood, or to childhood maybe 5 generations ago?
Like she said, it depends on when it started. And sometimes they're dormant and there's a trigger that starts it. So what was the trigger? And sometimes when you go into the trigger, then you can go further down and then go to certain childhood memories when it initially started but then stayed dormant. And that could eventually lead to certain past lives.
So anything that could trigger that could be
What about heredity?
Some catastrophic event.
It could be something as simple as
an odor.
Like an order from a parent, which they said very lovingly and they didn't mean it, but there was a comparison and that stuck in the child. So it's mostly not what happened, but their reaction to it or how they internalized it. And sometimes, of course, it is what happened, which was traumatic enough, but if they were little and for them it was such a huge deal, then for them it was a huge deal.
What about hereditary diseases? Things that was in the family for generations?
I'm really glad you brought that up. So with all this research going on about epigenetics, it's literally proven that we carry a lot from the way our ancestors behaved, and we pick it up. But there is an element, so the genetics is one factor, but the other factor is that you believe that you're going to get diabetes growing up because constantly you were told that, oh, it's a hereditary disease and it's in the family.
Thing,
So you own it. And when you, and also, most likely you tend to behave, or there are certain things instilled in the way you behave, and there are certain patterns of your parents you pick up, which reinforces it.
Because you become ritualistic at doing it.
In a way, yeah.
It's a ritual.
And because they did it, you kind of do that in the same way, and sometimes you don't even realize what you're doing over and over. And that also enforces. So breaking the pattern is just as important as not owning it.
But when you have, like say you have, say the issue is being overweight. Short women and they're overweight. And it's been a traditional thing in this family, generational. Okay? Now it comes into this lifetime, and the same, all the so-and-so women are heavy in this family. That's just,
So everybody has to accept that
them.
because that's part
That's
of
just
the...
them reinforcing that on you, the child, and guess what?
You're just going to
believing
accept
it.
that that's your lot
If
in
you
life.
accept
They're
it, that's
manifesting it on you.
That's what you're going to take. The simplicity of this, it really is simple. Don't say it if you don't want to own it. Period, the end.
Words are powerful.
And don't call a disease my this, my that.
My that, this, that, the other. My sciatica, my cancer, my this, my...
Well, what you were also saying is you have the parents that tell the child, like a friend of mine, breast cancer. Now, usually how people say is breast cancer is passed on from generation woman, and you see the mother will
And
have
it
it, the
is
grandmother.
because they're doing it,
right,
they're
and they're like,
programming
okay, 20, you have to go get tested. You have to, because this is, and then, oh, well, you know, you should do this and you should do that. And it's all in them, and they get all nervous, and they
Because
manifest
once
it.
once they get nervous about it, I read a book, and I also bought the audio book. It was recommended by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it was Nita Morjani, one of your countrymen. Okay, and it's called "Dying to Be Me." I really recommend that
really
you would listen to this if you get the audio, the story is magnificent. That somebody had billions of cancer cells in less than 30 hours to live, and miraculously left the body, went to the other side, changed their energy, did everything, came back to the body, and within 2 or 3 days she was perfectly fine. Cancer just disappeared.
Did you call that a miracle?
I call that a hell of a miracle. You better believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and these things are possible. But the whole thing that happened to her is that generationally, it was instilled in them cancer, because somebody had cancer many, many years ago, and everybody in each family lifetime was getting cancer. And it certainly happened to her because she feared it. You know, she went to India, and she was taking some kind of specialized diet that they had there. I forgot what she called it. But it was this specialized diet. She was on that, and she started to improve because, let's face it, you know, when you do things and you change that which you have been doing normally, and you go to a different venue, you'll start to bring on the healing, the natural goodness of vegetables and things like that that you can use, and not these things that are sprayed with toxins and GMO or GHMO, whatever they are. What are they?
Oh,
GMOs?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, growth hormone type of thing. You know?
Especially with milk and meat.
The what?
Milk, meat,
Milk, meat, it's
soy,
included.
corn even.
Even the corn. They're genetically modifying everything. Look at the size of the cows.
Look at the children nowadays.
Yeah,
They're-
huge, and they're so developed, so young.
They're different. They're growing up before they should. And that wasn't like when I was growing up. We weren't.
No.
We weren't like that. We weren't mature like that.
They're
We're
just-
growing up too fast.
Right.
They're terribly advanced, and that there is just the sign of the times at this time. And the fact that it's accepted, so readily accepted, you know what I mean? Nobody calls a red flag on that, but it's okay to do something bizarre, and that's all right, you know, so.
Well, when we all grew up, Mom cooked. You know, it was, you had your...
When we all grew up, Mom was home. Okay?
cooked.
She didn't have to have 2 people go out because you can't afford New York. You can't pay the rates here.
Right, true. But now everything's microwaved. Everything's, or, oh, you know what, 5 minutes, dinner in the oven. It's
Take it out of the
it's-
freezer, stick it in
right.
the microwave. Serve
And
it.
it's so good. And all those nitrites in that potato is just delicious. Throw some butter on it, you're good. Anyway, well, now you know why you'd be doing healing. You'd be eating that stuff.
Well, healers are
Agree.
more necessary today than I think ever before.
There's too much emphasis on regular general medicine. You know, not to knock doctors or anything
No,
like that.
no one would ever recommend
But,
not to see a doctor,
No,
but you can
no,
add
but they're
the
not doing
holistic healings to it.
yes.
They're not doing the mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
When you do the complete thing, medicine, mind, body, spirit, then you cure. When you just do, take this chemical, take this thing, it's chemicals.
Well,
These
none of
chemicals
it's a
are not-
cure. It only masks the symptoms. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep, it just subsides it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never get cured by these things.
No.
You know, what do they give you? You hurt your back, give you a painkiller. And what do they do? Get you hooked on oxycodone.
Yeah, right.
Okay, look at the generation of kids we got today, and because of it.
And these things that they're doing, they try to really do stupid things like eating Tide Pods and things like that. A challenge. They call it a challenge. What they're doing with certain.
But those kids' kidneys are really clean.
Oh, sure. And the rest of their body too, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, who would be idiotic enough to do that?
Be surprised with it. I
Peer
can't even
pressure.
repeat some of the stuff these kids were telling me that kids are doing today.
But
It's really.
It's all psychological. They want to fit in. That's all. They're just trying to
Fit into what? A laundry,
Yeah, I
laundry
know.
bin?
No, but at that age,
Tide?
yeah.
They're going to end up fitting into a coffin. That's what they're
Well,
going to
they
do.
keep on doing stupid things like that. They will.
Yeah.
Well, the family unit broke down. That's
That- well,
what's...
yes.
We know-
That's-
yeah, right.
that's the
a lot
reason, a
Of parents
lot of
want
it.
the schools and everybody else to raise their kids, and they don't bother chipping in at all. No advice, no, you know, they
Not my
don't talk to
child.
their well, I'm sure.
Right.
Well,
No, I'm
of
sure
No,
there are
that's what I'm saying.
plenty
That's
of
what they all
parents that
say.
are good, that are doing the right thing with their kids. But there's a lot of people that they're walking around, they're in a fog, and the kids are going to be in a fog.
And they're in the
Oh, yeah.
videos, that's it.
Yeah. And so.
Which actually causes a lot of craniosacral issues.
Yeah, I'm
Then.
sure. And obesity in these children, you see a lot of
Well,
fat
look what they're
kids.
eating. They're sitting down eating
They're
chips,
eating
eating crap.
and they're sitting in front of a computer
and they're playing in front of a
games.
computer. You know?
And then
They don't
get
sit at the
taught,
table anymore.
taught these games where people are killing each other.
I told you today when we were having breakfast, right? What did
Yeah.
I tell you about? How many murders
Oh,
that
sure.
a 12-year-old sees by the time he turns 12?
Yeah.
Something like 13, 14,000.
And they're sexualizing everything on TV for the young
Well, you
kids.
see what they're doing. Not only are they doing that, but they're also trying to take all these things that are on fringes of what morality would be, trying to make it the norm by throwing it in your face. Okay? And you know what? That's fine if that wants to be somebody else's morality. That is not mine.
No, mine
And I
either.
don't want my children exposed to that. But you say that, you're a bigot. Okay, please.
Well, people think I'm crazy because my 8-year-old doesn't have a television in her room. What do you mean? She doesn't have video games? No.
That's
she doesn't.
cruelty.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
so deprived.
When she goes to high school, maybe.
The funniest part about it is people goes, I punished my daughter. I sent her to a room.
Yeah, where she's got
You
a
didn't-
television,
She has
a
everything.
She got a
computer,
TV, a computer, a cell phone.
do
right?
whatever she wants. That
What
doesn't hurt.
did you do? You punished her? That's punishment. What did you give her a food? She has a box of Twinkies in the closet. It's the truth, isn't it?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. And then they eat the Twinkies
What about
and
the
they got too much
psychological
sugar.
with these people?
Oh,
When you
yeah.
get people come in that actually have a psychological issue, like the children, a lot, you know, I think a lot of children too are misdiagnosed with this ADD and
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
so
Definitely.
I mean, I just think that sometimes it's the teachers have a child that is a little off center when it
Rambunctious.
comes to rambunctious, and right away he's hyper, he's this, he's that. Stop labeling these kids. They didn't do that in my day.
I
No.
have an interesting theory about ADD that I once read. And so in ancient times, there were the hunters and the gatherers. The gatherers were used to being in groups and doing their daily planting and growing day after day. And the hunters were used to being alone, going out there, and they would have to be like on high alert, like the defenders or the Marines or
Yes.
whoever. And then once they come in and they've done their kill and they've fed the village, they would be on days of rest. So the theory is that people who've done that evolved into, you know,
Yeah.
in other lifetimes, they evolve into a certain type of, a type A type of personality,
Right.
which is labeled as ADD. But it's every human being. It's different. They just need a different type. That child needs a different type of care. If you understand his patterns,
Yes.
that, you know, he's all the way out there, you need to make use of that excess energy in a good way. And then when he needs rest, he needs that rest. That is his pattern. And there are ways to stabilize it, but
I mean, I see, you know,
Yeah.
getting these kids all messed up with these drugs and Ritalin and all these
Yeah.
different types of things.
Most of it's not necessary.
And I believe that. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that they don't want
know what
to
it
deal with
is?
these kids.
That's right. Too many
that's-
parents do not want to deal with their children, so they will allow them to go on these drugs that are supposedly keeping them calm, so that the parents can go and do whatever they please and not have to worry about what the kids are doing.
But they should use hypnosis first.
Yeah.
Because the children are the highest susceptible people to,
Absolutely.
you know,
Emotional traumas.
yes.
Absolutely.
But hypnosis can help children more than anyone.
Yeah, because children would be open to it.
Exactly. They don't know. They still have that imagination. They still
Right.
have all that stuff. They're so susceptible.
the
It's
imagination's so
it's
vivid.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And you nip it in the bud. You know, you do it right there. When children are cured at that age, then as they grow into adults, sometimes it's so hard to go back and fix it. It's not so hard, but it's harder to go back and fix
I
it.
face it, yeah.
Well, with hypnosis, we can give children confidence that a lot of these kids don't have.
No.
We can calm them down. We can give them a safe space for themselves.
Give them
A
self-confidence.
place to
Yeah.
go within
Yeah.
that they can
When-
find harborage within themselves. And also, but you know what it is? These kids absolutely need a mentor. You know, they
Somebody
have to
they
have a
can
mentor.
talk to,
Somebody
yes.
they can talk to about it. There's so many children today growing up that are, well, we're indigo. I'm an indigo, right? But so many people growing up, they're crystal children coming in now, light children, star children, okay? And they're very, very advanced. And the problem is that as their gifts are honing their gifts, their parents, they're from the Stone Age, you know what I mean? So they hold these kids back. And I always tell them, if they tell you they see somebody or they're talking to somebody, you better believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and don't retard their skills.
And don't think it's just an imaginary friend.
You know? I mean, there's been so much stuff, talking about clinical stuff, so much stuff that has been shoved down our throats. We were talking about it today, about back in the late 50s, I guess it was, early 60s, they started putting fluoride in the water.
In the water, yeah.
And fluoride into the toothpaste. That was designed for one specific reason, and it wasn't to make your teeth pearly white and protect them. That was to encrust your pineal gland so that you wouldn't have the ability to have foresight. That's what that was done, period, the end.
But
that was it.
I don't understand. They put it in our water, they want us to drink it, but on the toothpaste...
What do you think they use to kill rats? Fluoride.
But on the toothpaste, they say, make sure your child doesn't swallow it.
Yeah.
So it's an
But
oxymoron.
if it's in the water, you're going to swallow it.
Right.
It's in the mouthwashes. It's in
everything.
Every single thing. It is a toxin, it is an impurity, and it is a rat poison, is what it is. And because they put it in your toothpaste, that makes it okay.
And now they
How many years you been exposed to that? I don't use
New York,
I don't use
our whole
anything.
lives.
Yeah.
I've been here 25 years. I haven't drank the water here once. Not once.
Well, you know, they have advertised now, they have little bottles of water like this. They're put towards children, and it says with fluoride. So the parents will buy it. It's the small little bottles, and with fluoride, and parents buy it because they think it's better for them.
They think it's going to fight cavities. That's
Or
what it is.
whatever.
That's what fluoride supposedly is
You want to
supposed
fight cavities, you go to the dentist and have the teeth glazed. And that'll fight cavities. You don't need to have that stuff in your food, your water, everything else.
Nope.
Don't forget how much of these things are also put into the ground. You know? So, and fertilizers and stuff like that. And the crops that they're growing, the yield is tremendous. Because, you know, not only are they feeding this country, but they're feeding half the countries of the world.
Well, have you ever seen on Facebook and YouTube when they make the cabbage and it's made out of wood?
Cellophane. It's like cellophane.
It's insane, and you can't tell the difference.
They were using romaine. They were using romaine lettuce and boiling the leaves in hot water. And then when it comes off in cellophane sheets.
Yeah. And they burn it, and it doesn't burn.
It doesn't burn.
It's
That's
insane.
genetically modified food. You know, they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, all right, you eat it. You know, they got to start making organic foods less in price.
Yeah, people
really
can afford
need
it.
to
People would
more
buy it more.
easily
Yeah.
available because when you step down and all you see people, you know, even the white flour, the sugar, you know, that's what's advertised, that a good breakfast is a croissant, or, you know, it's just what people think, oh, I got to get a bagel for breakfast, I got to get pizza for dinner. Like, you know, it's just...
Yeah, because it's programming. It's
and
programming.
availability.
You know how many subliminal messages you get on TV in these commercials? You know? Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And there's, like I said, if you are a healer and you come across, well, you have to peel the person down like a onion. By the time you get to the root problem, because they're so encased with so much stuff that's been ingrained in them.
Throughout the
you know?
years and lifetimes.
And then well,
Parents should have to take a class before they have children.
you know,
There are people that shouldn't be parents, and there are people that shouldn't be pet owners.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay?
True.
Because they don't know what they're doing with either one.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. I see it. We see it all the time.
Yeah. I know you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But healing a person
And there are people that shouldn't even own a plant.
of these, well, that's what I'm saying. Healing a person with these afflictions or these aspersions to hurt an animal, hurt another child.
Why would
or
you
do
want to
something.
do that?
You know, somebody put a video on Facebook or YouTube, and there's this guy had this cat. He's holding his pet, and he's at the beach. He's holding his pet, and he grabs it by his tail, swings it, and he tosses it out in the ocean. You know, if
It's
I would have
a
been on that beach,
horrible
I
thing.
would have saved the cat and then buried him,
Yeah.
like the poop the cat would have made.
People are just.
That's animalistic.
That is. Well, you know what? My mother always said, and she didn't have to tell me because I'm the biggest animal ever going, but my mother used to say, do not ever be cruel to an animal because they are God's creatures, and if you're cruel to an animal, God will get you.
Because they are
Okay.
defenseless.
He's
They're
a vindictive
defenseless.
God.
Defenseless, right.
Okay. well,
She said, those
they're
were her
defenseless.
words. God will get you.
That's right. That's right.
And he will. And you see these people.
God is the saying in the Bible. God says, if God feeds the birds and the animals, he goes, how much more will he give you?
Yeah.
You know, we are born, we are his children, we are of the light, we are his creation. You were born with endowed with the same abilities and powers, but you are dumbed down by parents that are unknowing,
Yeah.
okay, by an educational system that just changes the dynamic, you know, and
Yeah.
that's it. Once you change that dynamic, you become dormant to your abilities.
Not all children are meant to fit in that same
No.
bucket. You know, they're
They're
all
not,
so
they're not.
different if someone just took that
And
time
the worst part about it is they
out.
have no place to turn when they have
Yes.
ability. You know, they all have ability,
A
but
lot of them drown it in addiction. You would be
Yeah.
surprised how many
that's right.
Yeah. 'Cause they
people
don't know how to handle.
rehabilitating just did that because they couldn't take all the sounds and everything coming in, and they just wanted to dull down their senses, but they're brilliant.
That's what you hear. Now, teaching people how to basically tone it down and basically quiet their mind, okay?
Without substance use.
Well, that's where meditation comes in.
Well, meditation, I really think that should be taught, really believe that should
In
be
school.
taught in school.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
I think that,
absolutely
Especially
never mind-
transcendental
never mind-
meditation
yeah,
is
but
the best.
never mind recess. Get them into the gym, let them sit in the lotus, and teach them to meditate. Be creative with themselves. They'll be such better students, and they'll be such more grounded
Yeah.
into the good part of life and not all this chaos that goes around.
I cannot agree
They
more.
have some schools that have tried that, and they say it's amazing. The transformation on
transformation of
the
the kids.
children that were out of control, the ADHD, you know,
Yeah.
it was amazing. That everybody's calm. There's no problems. There's no fights. Everybody loves each other,
Right.
and that's just amazing.
what God meant us to be.
Yeah.
Helping each other, loving each other, doing for each
that's
other.
God's prime directive.
That's it. That's
to
right.
love everyone as God loves you.
And to love each other as we would want
That's
people
right.
to love us.
And the second directive is to be of service to your fellow man.
That's right.
People have forgotten how to be genuinely nice
Yes.
to other people.
Because they become
Okay.
selfish, self-centered.
Selfish,
They
self-centered.
are only worried about their own.
That's right.
Their own wants and needs, and not worried about. And you see that every day when you're driving.
You only have to drive 10 minutes on this island.
Yeah.
Forget it. And no matter what direction you got some nut job.
And you know, when you're driving, is the biggest opportunity every day to be kind to each other.
That's right.
All right? Allow the other person to go. Allow the other person to get in front of you without getting all upset. This road rage is horrible. There's no reason for it.
Everybody's in
I
a
had a
rush.
lady come through a stop sign on me just before. Come
Yeah.
through a stop sign. I'm in the intersection. She come through the stop sign, stopped, started to go stop, and I'm stuck because I can't go forward. The car stopped in front of me. All right? And I'm looking at her like, are you out of your mind? You don't even have the stop sign. You just blew right through it, and then looked at me like,
And
can't
then they
you
wonder
move?
why they get into accidents.
And the best is she had a cripple plate on the back of the car.
Oh,
And she was driving like road rage. You know, please.
I love the people that have all the dents in their car.
They play connect the dots.
It's like,
know,
okay, I'll stay away from your car.
With meditation, there's another very distinct advantage. A lot of people that come, a lot of adults that come to you for healing, and if you suggest meditation, oh, but I've tried it, I just don't know how. So if that's something that's inculcated, like they'll be like, my mind is too busy, I try to sit on it, and it just doesn't
They
happen.
don't realize that their mind won't be busy after they do it.
Right.
All you have to do is sit quietly in a quiet place where no one is disturbing you. Close your eyes and repeat a mantra for 20 minutes. Your mind will travel, then you come back to your mantra when you lose it, and 20 minutes later you're refreshed, you're feeling good, you're feeling like you just had
You're
a
feeling
nap.
calm.
And you're calm.
Yes,
very
and
calm.
mantra meditation works great for those who are more audient. But like if one type doesn't, there's 27 types of meditation, so you know you can pick and choose. There's different types.
Just
If
go
one doesn't
online,
work for
look up
you,
meditation and pick the one that's best
there's
for
even
you.
a quiz online, like
And
which
night-
is your type of
and night,
meditation.
I just throw
Yeah.
I throw my earbuds in, you know, and like I'll go with like my archangel is Archangel Zachiel. He brought me in, he'll bring me out. Okay, I had a dream with him. I was like a little boy holding his hand, and he took me to all these beautiful places in heaven,
Oh.
showing me where I'm going to be going, where it's going to be, and you know he works on the violet ray, and he's the archangel of the brain, the mindset, and of Alzheimer's, and all these different things. You call on Archangel Zachiel to handle that. And he's of the violet flame, like Saint Germain.
Saint Germain.
Yeah, so I use the violet and diamond flame. And that's how I do everything. And I clear everything and use that to clear the body. That meditation that I listen to, I only listen to those. You know, and I hear, I mean, sometimes I listen to like Neville Goddard, who's kind of like a mentor. And I listen to him. I listen to several others that
You
are
have
like
your
him.
primary.
The Wayne Dyers, you know, because I hear something genuine in what they say. You know, then I hear some people who are basically plagiarizers. You know,
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. You
Oh,
remember the
sure.
course you took?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's total plagiarism. But you know, that is very helpful. Helps me to sleep. I wake up peaceful. I wake up calm.
Yeah.
You know.
And now when your mind associates
Mhm.
peace with that specific meditation, and everything's habit, right? So that's another thing with hypnosis also. You reinforce that habit and that trigger
Yeah.
that your mind associates it with something pleasant, and that will take you in that zone. The idea is to just get in the zone.
You just got to, well, you got to set them on the path.
Yeah.
That's what you're basically doing. You're going to
Yeah.
clear out the blocks. I usually do that. I'll clear the blocks and then I'll put them into their highest good. You know, and she's loving it. She's doing exactly what I told her to do, and she's absolutely having results and loving it. You know, and I was glad to be of help. You know, I don't usually do something like that. You know, where I'll put somebody in a meditative state, but I did it. It was good. It worked out. The results are fine.
That's great.
You know, you ever have to do that for somebody, or you do it for family members?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
it for my
That's
my son. He's always going. It's like da 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 da. He's 27. He's
That's why.
always
That's
going.
why.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. I mean, maybe he sleeps like 2
That's
hours.
called
He's-
testosterone.
So I tell him, you know, you gotta just stop. We gotta calm down. And
You know what it is when you tell, because your mom, when you tell them that, they take what you say with a grain of salt. But if you can get him quiet and private and put him under hypnosis, then you can quiet his mind for him.
oh yeah,
By talking to the subconscious mind, talking to the conscious mind, getting the two to work together as a team instead of being diametrically opposed, you know, get them on the same page. And that will calm them down and make them a happier person.
well,
Because
I
then-
did it with my daughter, the 8-year-old.
You
I
should
did
be
it.
impressed with that. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
she was having her trouble at school and always worried, no confidence. And I started just little things, and it's eyes open hypnosis. So children totally different than adults.
Yes.
You know, you have to tell them bedtime stories and do it in a certain way. And I
Once
started.
upon a time, count back from 10. There was a little girl, count back from 10. You know, keep on counting back. You know,
And then,
you're feeling sleepy, your left eye won't work, you know, and keep on going.
but then afterwards, you give them affirmations.
Yeah.
You know, and we're 2 years in, and She is so confident, where she was this shy little girl, wouldn't go on stage, wouldn't do anything. And
So you created a little diva.
yeah, she is a
Okay.
little bit.
All right.
But she said to me the other day, and it made me so proud, my granddaughter told her, if you could be anybody in this world, superhero, anything, what would you be? Who would you be? And she goes, me. I like me. I want to just be me.
Well, that's good.
And she goes, no, but anybody. She was like, no, I like me.
Yeah.
So I did my job. I helped her develop
Because
that
if
confidence.
if they're like a
and-
superhero, it's like an alter ego.
But most kids at 8 don't want to be themselves.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they want to be Superman.
They want to
Batman,
be
this one, the
something.
other one.
And she made me so proud. I was like, you know what? That's
Or
good.
Pokemon, please. My granddaughter, she says to me, goes, Papa, I want to watch Pokemon. I said, don't watch Pokemon, it's stupid. Right? So now she comes over to me, she says to me, goes, she's only 2. She says to me, goes, Papa, I want to watch Pokemon. Yes, it's stupid. Yeah. And I'm
But
like,
I want to watch it anyway.
so you don't understand, she just thinks that that's what it is.
What it is.
When I watch it.
It's
You
what
know? It's pretty funny. They say the cutest things, they really do.
Oh yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Now, little children, there's a different method to the hypnosis. Okay, you're doing an awake hypnosis, and you're doing something that's repetitive as a mantra.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you have to go into something a little deeper that might require maybe to see why she's shy, do you regress them?
That would be later on. I wouldn't do it right away. You try everything else first, because regression can scare them. Because they don't, I mean, you calm them down, but still can scare them at that point. And me, if I think that would break my heart.
It's your daughter.
Exactly, but you do that when it's all else. That, you know what, hey, I tried every different route. It's not this, it's not that. Okay, it's got to be in a past life. It's got to be something back there
something
that
that's
they're
connected,
holding on to.
Children
you don't know.
are actually very vocal when it's a past life because they have stronger memories when they're that young.
They're closer to it.
Yeah, they
The
don't
younger they are, the
understand
more.
it, but
Yeah.
they just they'll be
They
like, oh yeah, I remember
things.
that.
Yeah.
I knew somebody with a whole different family. They could name their brother, the sister,
Oh yeah,
everybody.
It has happened
The house.
on many occasions. Yeah. They passed on from another life.
The neighbor that
But
owed them a lot of money.
their wife and children are still around, and they know exactly where they lived and what their names are, and they come and they. No, it does
amazing.
happen. It is amazing. Yes.
If somebody comes to you and they want a reading, whether it's tarot or whatever you're going to do, okay, do you sometimes recognize a mental illness prior, even by a card, by flipping one of the cards to put you on the track that you're not dealing with somebody here that's playing with 52 cards? Okay,
Yes.
I've come across this.
Yes.
Not playing with a full deck. eh?
And well, there's times when there is entities, and you know you.
Oh yeah, attachments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
attachments.
You gotta get rid of them.
Yep. So yeah. And yeah, it's amazing how the cards reveal things, and it'll always be the first one. And like I
Yeah.
specialize in life purpose readings, so
You flip
And-
the card and it says, not this one, she's an axe murderer. Okay. So, you know right off the bat, you got it's way out there, you know?
but just you know, it can be released.
Well, how do you diffuse that? You know, so, like, you get some people too that come to, they're psychic junkies. Like, they have to know what's going on minute to minute every day.
Oh, they were always in contact with
And they're like, and if they don't get the
Medium or
answer
something.
from you, they'll go to her. They don't get the answer from her, they come to me. They don't get to come to her. It's going to go round table.
It's funny how that also shows up in the cards, and
Yeah.
then I'll be like, you
Yeah.
know what?
You keep
Unless
going to
you
this
do
one and that
something
one.
with the information that's been given to you,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to keep asking the same question.
Yes.
And it'll tell you they're going round in circles.
They
It's,
go
I
around
once
the
got the
same
card.
mountain all the
I
time,
mean,
yeah.
it's kind of bizarre, but I see it all the time. And these people ask the same questions. They ask me a question, let's see me, they'll look at them like this. And I'll say to them, you already know the answer. Right. Oh, is he cheating on me or not? I said to them, You know the answer. Who was complaining today? He comes home at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's out with the boys. Or he's working late.
But
really?
sometimes they just need someone outside themselves to affirm it. And a lot of times when people come like that, there's some kind of lack of confidence in their inner knowing, and there's that disconnect with the intuition.
Because they want validation from you, from this one, from that one, from that one, from that one. And when they get the validation that they really want, that's the person they stick with.
Yes, and sometimes it's also the fact that some of them do not have a very strong inner radar, and that also sometimes happens from.
Is what it is. It's lack of self-confidence.
Yeah. Also, some of them who are very sensitive will be taking on a lot of things from a lot of people, and they don't know where their energy is from. So, helping them recognize
who they are.
Yes, what it feels like, or what can you hear that sounds like you, and then that's a whole different healing thing.
Whole different direction.
But
that will help them.
That's the root, I think, to the fact that they're asking for confirmation. But there are people who genuinely do not know what that inner voice is, which is theirs, and to distinguish theirs between all the other voices out there. And sometimes they're very, very sensitive, and they could be very, very intuitive, but they're not. They don't know how to protect. They don't know how to cleanse.
A lot of times people say, well, I hear that little voice in my head. It's my own voice. I said, duh. Really? I said, all right, we have 5 minutes. But see, on this show, 5 minutes could be 10, or 5 minutes could be 2. So let's continue our conversation a little bit.
Okay.
I would ask you the same question. What was the question?
I don't remember what was the question.
How do you deal with someone who keeps
no.
going to
With
multiple people for confirmations instead of following their narrator?
They're like a pass
Or
around
even
pack.
keeps going
Yeah,
to the
that's-
I see it all the
person
time.
Right.
I
Calling
guess
every
you would
5
have to
minutes.
make sure
They
you,
just wanna hear
in
it.
hypnosis, I would bring them to a place to get them the confidence, so they can get the confirmation for themselves with one person instead of going around and around. Try to fix why they keep
Why
on.
they keep on doing it.
Because
I
that's the
agree.
root. They
Yep.
need to know why they keep on going around in circles.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, we're just missing one more. We're missing Joshua.
That's right, he should have been here,
Yeah.
but what are you gonna, he's in Florida, so
Yeah, he's in Florida.
he'll be back.
George Clooney. That man hunk. What do we call him again?
Eye
candy.
candy.
George's eye candy.
He's gonna love it if he sees
I
this
hope you
show.
love this show. I remember who brought it up. She did.
Did you hear that, George?
Okay, what do we got, guys? Time. We got 4 minutes? All right, we got 4 minutes.
Well, one thing he did teach us, and that during hypnosis, you tell the clients, you don't use try, because try is a negative word.
That's right.
You do.
You never,
And it's
you
always
never
do.
use try, you never use I will be, because that means you're not now.
Yeah.
I'll try means like whenever. Okay?
Or maybe
And-
yes, maybe
or
no.
maybe yes, maybe no.
No,
We'll
it's
see
gotta
next
be.
week. Really, there's so
Do.
many
Today,
metaphors
it's
for this
now.
stuff. Yeah.
You're owning it.
And they tell you this kind of stuff, All right, I'll try to do that. Yeah, I'll try to do the meditation. No, don't try, do.
And if,
Don't program that you're going to try, because that means the same thing as everything else that you never tried.
but that's what they
Do it.
teach the kids in school. Try your best. Try, try, try. If you taught your children, do your best, they will always do their
Do
best.
That's it.
Yes.
Trying is, it's okay to fail, you
Yeah.
know?
Try and we'll understand if you don't make it.
If you tell them to do,
Do it.
it's a different mindset.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, they know that there's more expected from them and that you are confident in them that they can do. That they're not
Yes.
just going to try, they're going to do.
They're going to do. They're
And
gonna
you
do.
are confident in that.
Hey, look, there's a song that says children are our future.
That's
They
right.
certainly are. And if you're going to allow
I
them to
know,
fall,
but the
if you're going to
children
allow
that are
them to
coming
fall
up
through
today,
the,
though, God only knows
because they we got 2 minutes.
what kind of a future do we have with some of these kids,
Wow.
No, we have to help them.
with their
That's it.
challenges. Oh, my God.
And everything else that comes up. But
Whoever came up with that idea, we didn't do that when we were kids.
Okay. We got 2 minutes. Final word.
Well, final word. Believe it, expect it, know it.
I
It's
can
gonna
swear
happen
she
today.
was channeling Joshua. Okay, and what did
Well,
you say?
I
Know it,
strongly
believe it,
believe in
and
that.
expect it.
No,
But she
no.
said it the opposite way.
Go after whatever you want. Do it. Don't try it. And let yourself get healed the right way, not with medicines. Go for the holistic way.
Yeah.
And I would just tell you, don't fear stepping out in faith. All right?
And always be positive.
If you fear is inverted faith. Do not fear.
Right.
Okay? Because then you give in to the darkness. All right?
And
Be
always stay
confident and go
positive.
forward. We have 1 minute. Let me thank our sponsors, Antonio's Pork Store in Tottenville and Aardvark Pest Control in Great Kills. And to our guest here, I'm not even going to try to say that because I forgot how to say it. But you can-
Mehernaz.
what she said, okay? She's a very gifted, very nice, very lovely woman.
Yes,
And Christine, she's like my sister or light here,
that's right.
okay? And Janice,
Janice.
she's a babe. Anyway, and we're just going to wish you all a good night, safe home. Studio guys, Richie, Tracy, Brian in the booth, Kenny somewhere. Everybody wave goodbye. It's a kumbaya moment, you know? Music maestro.